Look at that smile. Welcome, everyone, to Everyone's Doing Better Than Me. I am one of your hosts, Eve Ellenbogen, and I am here with my friend who is just the sunniest she's ever been, Katharyn Henson, all the way in London. Hi, Katharyn.
Don't ask me how I am.
I almost did.
Don't. I saw your mouth begin to form and I'm like, don't.
I know. I stopped.
Good. I'm glad. That means we're really in sync. We're really more in sync than ever before. So I guess that's something to be happy about.
Oh, I'm drinking my iced peppermint tea. Sorry to brag. I feel like the last few days you and I have actually spoken on the phone so much that we got through to a different place. You know what I mean? It's like when you're like dating and in the beginning it's like really healthy and then you start losing your boundaries and becoming codependent and you're like, yeah, we're just getting really close. But actually everyone else is like, they're going to kill each other one day. That's where I think we are. But it's like in the fun thing, where it's like, I'm like, I see you. And you're like, I see you. And then everyone around us is probably like, are you guys like, okay? And we're like, we're better than ever. Why? We are so in love. Why are you trying to ruin this for us? Right?
No. I think that's fair. I mean, I know this isn't good, but I've thought a lot about it since, like when you told me you hadn't gone outside in 2 days, and that really spoke to the me that hadn't gone outside for 7 days. And I could hear, like, we were laughing a lot. So I really enjoyed that part, but like, there is a level of unhinged that happens that and I could hear that in you, but it made it really fun. It was like we got to switch for a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was way more fun when you were that way than it was when I was that way. There was a lot more laughing. Yeah.
Yes, because my unhinge is like, maybe I should message my ex-boyfriend that he needs to unfollow me on Instagram. Whereas your unhinged is like, that's it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I don't know how I'm gonna weave together scraps of my hair and then tie it to the fan and then jump. And it's like, I'm like, oh, is Mark there? Can I talk to Mark? Should I no, I'm hearing you, but yeah, you sound fine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in news of Mark, if we wanted to, I got the compliment right before this started that I look very rustic. Pretty sure that's not a compliment for a woman. And then he said, yeah,
you're like an old stove, babe. That's what you look like.
Yeah, nothing like rusty and just you look chalked up pieces of food and
you look like
parts.
Like you go well in a farmland. That's what you look like.
No, exactly. So I said rustic, and then he was like, like farmland, like, and I'm like, you just doubled down on a bad compliment. He's like, no, but like you on the farm. I'm like, stop, just stop it, stop it. I mean, I don't know. I will never know what he actually meant from the compliment because it was so not a compliment.
Yeah.
But I know he meant it in a good way. I know. Yeah. I never got to the bottom of it.
Because you stabbed him?
Yeah, no, we've had we've had just one of those days where I don't know. It's just we're not communicating at our best. It's just one of those days. Like, I think I started it. You already know about it, but I started it. I said, can we go for a walk in a little bit? And his response was, well, I would like to go for a run. And then I said, fine, I'll walk alone like I always do. And then the day kind of unraveled from there.
Well, I just think that, it's great that you have that relationship with him and everything, but it's not really going to be the same as our relationship. You know what I mean? It's right. Like you guys are married, but like we understand each other, because we're a healthy friendship. That's what it is.
Yeah. Well, no, to be honest, I did tell him that, and I do want to, I want to reiterate this here only because I do want it somewhere in history. Mm-hmm. But there was a day a couple weeks ago where I was crying and you were going through a suitcase that came out of my storage unit from my apartment, and it was filled with my shoes. And we were deciding which ones were to be kept or sold or donated or whatever. But all of them had dog hair from my former beloved pet inside of them.
And not just dog hair. It wasn't like, oh, that's like, they've got hair. It was like I could lift out sheets of dog hair. Like, it was like, I don't know. how this happened. Do you know, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. It's very confusing. I lived with it. So I just didn't, it stopped bothering me. I'm a furry person myself. I don't know if you can tell, but
You're going to say I'm a Capricorn.
and I'm a Capricorn. So, you just learn to love it. You learn to live in your environment, you adapt.
Yeah,
but so you had to vacuum out my shoes. And I think I'd been like low key suicidal just like an hour before, but seeing you're like, hold on just 1 second. I just need to vacuum. And watching you vacuum out my shoes, I was like thinking about like when we met and how we met and what was supposed to happen and what's happening now. And like just the absurdity of it all. So the other night when you were like, you were kind of that like zany, I used to get when I was like hungover, you're kind of like a little razzle dazzle. You're sort of like everything's silly. Yeah. So you kind of seemed like you were like that, and you were like, let's do a show together. And I was like, oh, you're like, yeah, well, it's like a hot garbage 2021 and it's called cold diarrhea. And it made me laugh so harder than I've laughed in months. And then I was like, yeah. And then the poster will just be you vacuuming out my shoes and me crying on a computer screen. And that's the show. That's the show.
Yeah. I mean, and if anybody doesn't know what we're referring to, we met and the thing that really brought us together was that we were going to fucking do a show called Hot Garbage in the 2020 Melbourne International Comedy Festival in Melbourne, Australia. and then we like worked so hard, and I was only in New York for like a week or two. We like did this photo shoot, and like you were like coming off of drugs. The chick who shot us was like having a panic attack.
I like that your new choice of word when you said photoed and you realized that wasn't a word. Rather than saying photographed, you were like the chick who shot us.
I don't know. I've been flirting with a guy on Tinder who is a photographer and he calls it a shoot. And I'm like, right. Yeah. So, he shot the chick who shot us in the face. But it was like,
do me a favor.
Yeah, shoot us because we didn't know, if we had died that way, it would have been like, how tragic, but at least they didn't have to go through the sadness of their show being canceled. It's like, better to die now,
Absolutely. 5 stars immediately.
Yes. We would have been not famous, but at least our friends and family would have remembered us. But,
because they won't now.
They would have remembered us as happy when we die. I don't know. It's like, I think sometimes about the people who died before COVID, because I, had friends, I had family members who were older or sick and stuff. I mean, it was too early, but I think like, God, would they, especially the older relatives, like, would they have been like, wow, what I would give for 3 more years, and then it's like 2 of those years are just like, everybody, is dying of COVID and everybody who's not dying is afraid of dying of COVID. And it's like, wow, life is such a journey, I'm like, no, they probably, that's what my feeling when all those celebrities died, whatever I think it was 2015. I said,
big year. Yeah.
I was like, they know those are all artists. They are in touch with something greater. Shit is about to hit the fan. And then Trump was, I was right. They were right. I miss them, but they're fine. They're together.
Miss them. You're very good friends, David Bowie.
I know. I got a Where's Waldo. I got like a Where's David puzzle today for David Bowie. So that's what I'm doing instead of going on successful dates.
Well, you know what? I'm eradicating moths, which are now in my home and are my only friends. So I'm killing the only thing that I have to talk to because they live in my towels. And that's new for me. I mean, what the fuck?
Yeah. Well, I think it'll just bring you closer to the whole thing about like life is just like a cycle and, death and life are the same. I think that'll really help you right now. Cause I think there's a lot of pressure for us to be living our best lives. And when you're just killing moths, you can just go, you know what? We all live, we all die. I just need to be here now, I don't know. I had so much coffee today. I went for a walk and it was like one of those mornings where I was like walking on the street and you have that rare moment. I was listening to opera. This is like, I don't know what's happening to me. And
you sound like me on ketamine now.
I know, I'm like,
that's what I do.
I do know what's happening to me. I'm getting my fucking period. Like, and nobody understands because I don't have regular periods. And also I'm me. that it's like it's like a grief process. You know what I mean? It's just like this thing, it's like a 5 stages thing, where it's like denial, acceptance, bargaining, all these things. And I'm just waiting. And I know it's coming. My boobs get so sore. It lasts forever.
Wow.
I like cry at the drop of a hat. I laugh really hard. And I know I'm getting my period when I laugh so hard that I almost pee. That's how I know when I'm like, uh-oh, that's how I know. There's like a lot of lower chakra confusion. You know what I mean? That's all happening.
The way you describe it, it makes me feel like I've been about to get my period all of coronavirus. So like
maybe that's what it was, babe. Maybe COVID's not even that bad. Maybe it's just your hormones. You're such a fucking woman.
Yeah. Well, because do you remember? I mean, overshare alert, but not a week ago, at least 2 weeks ago, or maybe it was a week ago, you were like, I'm about to start my period. And I was like, me too. And we were like, we're getting synced up, but I've had mine. And now I'm crying because it's just real. You know what I mean? The excuse is gone and you're still waiting on yours. You're just waiting for Guffman,
Yeah. But then it makes me manic, which is actually the worst part is that's when I'm funniest, is when I'm getting my period, but it's also when I'm craziest, when I'm like, I don't know. I just don't know what's wrong, and I just start walking, I messaged you before and I was like, we need to get these boxes out of here, and I was trying to sound cool in the message. I was like, hey babe,
you did not. No. Here's the thing. We are now 2 in line where I read that and I was like, so she's freaking out. She's absolutely, hey, could we just, and it's no, fine. Yes. I'm going to say this right here, right now, just for the record.
Yeah.
There is 100% something you have journaled about.
I journaled it.
No, but not just that. But, no, there's another thing.
What?
And I think you're going to talk to me about it sometime. What? You're going to be like, I've been thinking, no. I don't want to say what it is. Because
no,
it's
you have to.
No, but you and I had a conversation about somebody. Okay. And we had differing opinions about it. But then we kind of we kind of just moved on. And then we went on to have a great night. But I feel like
I didn't journal about it.
No, I was like, I swear to God, she's journaled about it, and then she's gonna talk to me about it. I was like, you're gonna journal your feelings, and then you're gonna talk to me.
I mean, I'm not going to explain any of the details because we can't. But basically, we had it was the closest thing to a conflict that we've ever had, which wasn't actually a conflict, right? Is that fair?
I don't feel, yeah.
It wasn't a conflict at all. It was just it was a difference in taste. Let's put it that way. Okay. And we just disagreed, but it wasn't well, fuck you, or I just feel like you're not even listening. It wasn't any of that stuff. It was just a taste thing. And then, a personality thing, right? I'm being so vague that I probably shouldn't.
I know it's kind of,
yeah.
It would not. Well, that's why I was like, fuck, should I even bring this up? But I guess I was imagining you. I was walking myself, taking one of my walks, and I was like, and it was around the time it might've been today, actually. I've thought of it a couple times since then. So I don't remember when that happened.
Maybe you need to journal about it, Katharyn. Maybe you need to go in your little journal. Dear journal, before I hang myself, I really want to get to the bottom of this with Eve. I feel so wrong making jokes about you hanging yourself. I'm not supposed to do that.
It's funny. Yeah. No. I think with me,
don't tell anyone. Don't. Yeah. Okay. Good. Okay. Guys, she wants me to push her. Is what I'm with the word.
I actually want you to be there when I do
just
it.
FaceTime me, Zoom me in. That's what we do.
Yeah.
I want to watch.
Yeah. And content. My God. I mean, how many 15-second clips can you get out of one hanging? I don't know, but that's reels for days. It is. But the problem is that you're the one who's better with the video editing. So what am I going to do? I can't get that ready for you. You know what I mean?
We'll have to.
I'd say I'd do it in advance, but
Yeah, we'll have to do some kind of handover before the hanging, so that I know.
Hire a social media expert and be like, "So I'm going to hang myself. I normally do this. Can you do it for her now?"
I just really want you to look out for my friend. This is going to go viral.
And in fact, the first clips you're making are going to be ones of me hanging myself. So
But you know what? It's if there ever was a God and a heaven and a hell and that kind of, and I get there one day and then they're like, sorry, the scale is pretty close, but we tipped it. You're going to hell. And I'll be like, what was the thing that tipped it? And it's just like a snippet of this moment right now where they're like, when you really validated Katharyn Henson and the listeners who were thinking like, oh yeah, maybe I should kill myself. And you just like went along with it. And then she did it. And so did everybody who listens to your podcast. Yeah. And you are the face now of legitimizing suicide. That's me. Oh, it's funny, everyone. And,
I'll be waving at you from the gates of hell. I'll be like, come on in. The water's warm. Like, don't worry.
You're one of those people where you would just end up in heaven and then you would complain about it. You'd be like,
you think I want to end up in heaven?
No, but you would get like all of the best thing, like heaven. I don't know, whatever your heaven is. Like you're just on at the Comedy Cellar every night.
What? Where are you getting this from? Like, have we not recapped the last year of my life? And you're like, you're going to go to heaven and get the best shit. Like,
then you'd be there and you'd be like, but now I don't even know if they're laughing because I'm funny or because it's heaven, Like, you find like some reason to make it bad, and I would just be tortured, and I'd be single and horny for all of eternity. That's what my hell would be. But anyway,
so you're currently in it, I guess, is when.
yeah, I really am.
Sorry, not to. No, yeah, I know that.
Oh well, you really know how to shoot me down, don't you?
I just. I don't think you'd be vacuuming my shoes if you were not horny.
That's a really good one. Yeah, because after I vacuumed them and we got off the phone, I fucked the shoes. That was what happened.
I mean, there are some pointy ones that are, a nice shape, good ribbing, useful.
I've had sex with like more than a few kind of questionable men. I thought
you were going to say items. I was like,
I would never put your shoes, which are so destroyed. I mean, I'm like, your clothes are like these like beautiful kind of like, like some of them, like, it's like, what the fuck is this stain on this like Vera Wang, like expensive thing, but still they're like in great condition. Yeah. And then the shoes, it's just like one of them I found, there was like a thumbtack pushed through the bottom that had clearly been there for like years, like when the thumbtack is worn down, I'm like, it wasn't even a thick shoe. It was thin. Like it must've been poking into your foot. But you're just like, I'm coming off of ketamine. Like you don't even notice what's going on. And then you go, oh yeah, I wore that to prison. Like everything has a crazy story.
That was a yellow coat. And thank you for reminding me I'm wearing my yellow sweater in honor of that time of my life.
You look like a farm gal.
Thank you. No, you're gonna find some shoes that have not been touched though too. See, with shoes, yeah.
I have so many more boxes.
Warm down. I know. And it's giving you anxiety. I know. I like that you just moved your camera light and now you look like you're inside of a jar and you are a living bug. That's what that looks like.
Well,
you were like, let me just readjust this. And then it was like far worse than before.
It's because like it's like there's sun. So it's like shining on you. I can't see you that
bragging.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I'm not in the UK. There's sun here. It was so cold this morning, though. It was really cold. I walked around Brooklyn and got a couple coffees and then had to take an Uber home so I could poop in my own toilet.
Wow.
Things got so dire. Am I allowed to say that? I talk about.
Are you allowed to say you poop in your toilet?
Well, I don't mean allowed, but it's like pooping is like the last taboo for women. I think it's like. I mean, no,
I do know, but it has been such a non-taboo for me my entire life that I've had to actually scale back and think like, oh, people don't want to hear about the shape of my shit, and like.
I just don't understand. So I don't want to hear about the shape of your shits, but I want to share about mine. Why? What the fuck? That's the thing, It's like, I don't want to.
Narcissism.
Yeah, exactly. Well, whatever.
I mean, there is nothing I will say about this like quarantine or lockdown or whatever. There is nothing worse than going on one of your long walks, right? And you're like 2 hours from your fucking house. And then suddenly you have to shit. And then you realize everything is closed.
Yeah.
And then this like whole new foreign wave of panic of like, just like your brain short circuiting. And like, I'm no stranger to shitting on the side of a road. Okay. But like, I'm also in my 30s now. I haven't done it in my 30s. I don't plan on doing it in my 30s, but it really made, you lose your fucking shit, right? Not literally.
Yeah.
You're trying to. Yeah. But You know, I'm a comedian, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But also it's like not even your country. So like you just get picked up by like the English police in London and you have this like American accent and they're like fucking dirty, filthy Americans.
Yeah.
Are you Jewish? And you're like, no, I swear I'm not Jewish. I don't know.
But I know a Jew and we were just on the phone. How could you tell? Like, you know,
she's rubbing off on me. I swear I won't speak to her again. It's
listen
like
to our podcast.
Yeah. Oh, that's the other thing. Everybody. So I switched my preferences again on Hinge to men and women. Because at this point I'm like, you know what? I just don't even know. I don't know what I want. Cause I keep thinking like, no, I'm straight. I like men. And then I go on these dates and I'm like, I find you so disappointing. I find you not at all exciting. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I'm like, I'm just going to try women. But here's the problem with women. They want to know too much. You know, they ask me questions, you know, men are like,
they care. Oh my God.
And so then it comes up and they ask me about the podcast. And I'm like, fuck. Because I have to say I'm making the podcast. I can't say, oh, I'm unemployed and then just leave it at that. You know what I mean? Like I have to say like, oh, I'm working on this podcast, make it sound like a big deal. And then they go, what's it called? And I'm like, oh, all I do is talk about dick.
I love that these two, you somehow hope that like you can just say it and then they'll say nothing. Even though all you want is like in reality, not you, but we want people to listen to it. But then they're like, well, we want to listen to it. You're like, not yet, you know?
Because I'm like, let's just talk on the phone first so that I can tell you like, so listen, I've never really dated women, but I'm so horny that I'm willing to try anything. No, I mean, I think, I don't know, whatever, you know, sex is fluid. I don't know what people say, you know, all I know is that whatever I want, I'm not getting it.
Wow.
So Monica's here. Should I let her in? Should I let her in the thing?
Yeah, I think you should let her in. Very excited. Very exciting. Hello.
Hi.
Oh yeah. Yay. It looks like this isn't your first Zoom rodeo.
Hi.
Hello. Oh, it's really nice to see you.
Wait, this is a podcast, right?
Okay. Yes.
Good. Yeah, but
you're in a meeting for our new pyramid scheme. We just need a small investment of $100.
I look like I just robbed a place. I look like I just.
do with the fun background, though, you know.
Yeah. I was just like unloading some like stolen goods off the back of it.
That's what you look. You do.
Wait, where are you?
I'm in Bed-Stuy.
Oh my God, I'm in Brooklyn Heights. We're like neighbors.
Yeah. Well, we should welcome our very special guest today. They're always very special. Who are we kidding? But extra special. Very excited to see friend, recording artist, musician, and hot mom. Okay, Monica Salazar. Are you going by Salazar or Olmsted?
Yeah.
Salazar Olmsted.
I have like so many different names because I have a lot of aliases.
See, I love that.
But let's go with Salazar.
That's how I met you, you know,
Yeah.
So you're like, might as well. So I'm excited to have you here just because, you know, the premise of the whole podcast is jealousy and being jealous of people and what they have and what they can do and what they, you know, are perceived as having. And you're somebody who, well, we met working at a restaurant, which, you know, is glamorous in New York City.
And when was that? When was that?
Well, I think that was probably like 2008 or 2009.
Wow. And a good memory.
I just cannot imagine Katharyn working at a restaurant. I feel like you would tell a lot of people to go fuck themselves.
I was the hostess.
Right.
I remember Katharyn always had her tablet out and was always like really looking at these wonderful like fashion blogs and like shopping. I remember you doing a lot of shopping.
Well, funny that you should mention since, you know, basically the amalgamation of all that shopping is sitting in Eve's apartment right now. So
yeah, I can pull it out right now. Did she buy this? What about this? And what was where was the restaurant? And what was it like?
Buttermilk Channel, which is that Carroll Gardens or
it's Carroll
Cobble
Gardens,
Hill,
yeah.
Carroll Gardens.
It's like where I am. Okay. Is it still there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
great
Beyonce used to dine there. Yeah.
Oh, dine? Did she dine there?
Were you and I, did you see Beyonce with me there?
Our friend Megan did. And she said she had amazing skin.
Yes.
And that when she left, she was doing like this weird sort of wave at everybody while smiling like this.
Wow.
Because I saw her after one brunch, because she came in for brunch with Solange. Is that how you say that? I'm very
yeah, her sister.
Okay, her sister. I know I feel really bad. Okay, I'm like, but yeah, she looked like she bathed in something like not of this world. You know, her skin, and she was like pregnant and had just not.
Well, this is. That's what the QAnon people are saying, is that, the like liberal elites are, feeding off
children.
of and that's proof, right? That's enough, isn't it? Yeah. Beyonce's skin. Oh, yeah. How did she, she was pregnant. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, she did like Silence of the Lambs. Like she actually had infant skin. She just covered herself in infant skin and was like,
I think like one of my, it's like, I shouldn't enjoy this so much because it's like for the most tragic reasons, but like when they do skin grafts for people who've like been in accidents and stuff, a lot of the times I remember reading this, I don't know if it still happens, but I'm sure it does. They'll use little baby foreskins because
why do you know that? Why?
Well, I was like, who doesn't know? As Jews get circumcised,
Right,
we contribute,
Two people just found out, so two people didn't know,
But I'm just like, again, on some level, it's like, oh my God, I get to have like, skin after a fire. But at the same time, it's like, it's just like tiny little baby dicks.
That's so weird. I had no idea. Well, I guess that's good to recycle.
Okay.
Skin. Yeah.
This brings me to two things that I'm already immediately jealous of Monica about. I just have to say, because first of all, her skin looks like a baby's bottom. Your skin, I remember you have always looked, and I'm not trying. Yeah. You've always looked like you have foreskin all over your face. That's what I thought.
Yes, I thought that.
Beautiful. But no, but I know a lady never tells her age, but I do remember when we were working together, and you look like you're 22 years old right now today.
That's nice.
Do you know what I mean? Do you see that? And I know you're not. I won't say how old. She's 220. But
liberal elites. That's
But you're so beautiful, and that's just without a doubt, you know what I mean? But you're cool. So like the thing is it's not just like, you're not just like the hot girl. Like you saw her go like, it's good to recycle baby foreskin, and like keep it moving, hot, cool, and seeing the good in all things.
You know what? I have to say, this is like the first time I've ever been like really jealous of one of the compliments Katharyn's giving. Cause I'm like, you have never said any of this shit to me. You know what I mean? She's never been like, you've got great skin, or you're so hot, or you're so cool. And we're like friends. And I'm like, oh, no, okay. I guess I'm the funny friend. That's like what all right.
You have to start throw those clothes out the window.
Yeah, I gotta set them on fire. Fuck her.
Well, I don't know if you noticed, but she's also funny, Eve. I don't know if you gathered that already.
All right.
Like, she's not a comedian.
Wait, second, you're a comedian?
No, she's not.
No.
Right, exactly. So I know. Katharyn, thank you for like driving the stake deeper through my heart. She's like, yes, she has everything you have and so much more. And you have you have a partner and a child. I saw from your Instagram.
Yes.
Are you married? Are you partnered or?
Oh, that's terrifying.
That is that is a little Elmo hat where the eyes
are just falling out because of my Zoom background. Wow, that is like
that's
scary.
Fucking scary.
Yeah, that's just on my bed. This doesn't fit his head anymore, but this is the hat he always wants to wear. So it's just like
how old?
Just pull it on his head, and he's got a big head like me. He's 18 months.
Oh,
yeah.
That's nice. Wow. So that you get to go through this pandemic with hope. That's something.
Yeah.
That's something I'm happy for you.
It's good. It's good. I should preface our conversation too with the fact that I haven't really slept for 18 months.
Right.
So I'm like powerfully stupid at this point. There's something. I remember hearing that women were like, you have a baby and it's just like, you don't know and you can't think of words. It's just that. And I'm just like, shut up, you idiot. But now it's real. I am so dumb.
Right.
And it's not because you lose your intelligence. You just haven't slept.
Yeah.
I truly haven't slept for 18 months. I haven't slept since the night before I went to the hospital to have a baby.
your last comfortable night was like with something in the womb.
Yeah, in the womb.
Wow.
And I had this great like horseshoe pillow that I would like, it was the best. And since then I haven't slept.
I was going to say like what, the pillow also just like vanished?
Yeah, it did because honestly, I think my husband was a little bit jealous of the pillow.
Right. Uh-oh.
And it took up like a lot of space in the bed. And then instead of just being like, I should keep this pillow forever because it brings me happiness and peace, I was like, I don't need the pillow anymore because it's a pregnant pillow, like because I'm not pregnant. And now
isn't it
no more pillow and I have no sleep but I have like a scary hat.
It's got like a special name, right? It's like a special name, the pillow, because I know that
I can't remember what it's called, but again, I haven't slept, so the memory it's gone.
Right, that's the thing.
It's a horseshoe shape, and you like just wrap it around yourself, and it hugs you. It's the best.
Wow.
It hugs you.
Yeah, because it's behind you, it's in front of you, it's everywhere.
Why are people only using it for pregnancy? Like I feel like that sounds good now.
It's true. It's dumb. It's dumb. We should all be in this pillow.
It actually sounds like a great thing to have while on ketamine, which before we even get into it, I listened to Courtship Ritual, which is your band, which she's in with her husband, by the way, which means they get along enough to not only live together, raise a child, but also create together. And I'm like, that is mind blowing.
You and Mark have a podcast, so that's the same, isn't it?
It's an hour of fighting, and then we press stop, and I upload it to the internet, and I forget that it happened. But like I put on your music, and you have like a couple of EPs, right? That were out.
Yeah, we have one full length and then an EP. Yeah, but the full length is about 25 minutes, so you could mistake it. It felt pretty easily. Yeah.
I was on ketamine, and I just have to say, feather in your cap. Great music to be on ketamine too.
Oh, good. That was our creative goal.
Katharyn, I didn't know that you took ketamine. That's crazy.
Oh, yes.
It's like literally, it's every time. Katharyn and I were like good friends, but we've only actually hung out in person like 5 times. And like every single time was some stage of ketamine taking. It was like, I'm taking ketamine later. And we're like, I was on ketamine all night. Oh my God. Like just some kind of like weird ketamine moment, which is kind of like how I talk about my period, where I'm like, it's coming. I don't know when it is. It's just finished. I have it. But that's like Katharyn with ketamine. So it's like a running thing. It comes up all the time. She's like, yeah, so I was listening to your album on ketamine. But I listened to some of it today. It was really, and I was listening to it on to music on Spotify, and I was like, it's just like, you hope that you like the music that the person you're having on your podcast made, and I did. I was like really into it. Yeah. Imagine if I was like, and I didn't, but I tried. No, I really liked it, and I was like, and that's why.
It would be the first time that happens.
Well, I mean, whatever. You make something. Some people are stupid and they don't get it, But that's something that I'm fucking jealous of, because like I've never, obviously, you guys go way back and all that, but like for me, I'm just like, you're a musician who's actually making music, and you are the like lead vocals, right? Like you sing on everything. To me, that's like, I mean, I would give all of this up if I could sing, I would never tell
all of what?
I would
what is all of what?
I would give up this podcast. No, I mean, I wouldn't give up stand up, but I think so many comedians wish they were in a band or could sing or play an instrument. And
isn't that the thing that musicians do too, right? It goes both ways.
Right.
I think a lot of musicians. I've thought about, comedy, and then I've thought like, no, I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
The commitment. The idea is great, but the commitment, you guys are so committed.
Are we
it's
so
a lifestyle.
Yeah, we're
lifestyle.
Committed. It is. We're committed to feeling insecure like all the time. I think that's what it is.
Well, it's interesting though, because you do already have like a natural comedic ability, which is something like most comics cannot even work their way into having. That's it.
True.
Like, you know, and like that was one of the reasons I always enjoyed being around you when we work together. Like, you know, when you look at the schedule and you see who's work and you're like, yes, you know, like, yeah, you're like, oh yeah. And especially if it's like a shitty shift, like brunch, you're like, oh, that'll be better. You know, you were always somebody like when I knew you were there was going to be some laughs, you know? And,
same.
Yeah. And especially when you're two people or like, you know, artists, whatever, right? Trying to like work toward a goal, but then you have to convene at a restaurant to make ends meet. You know what I mean? There's a nice meeting of the minds there. So, you know, just you have this ability, you like probably could get on a stage and say some things and just have that timing to be like, I'm bombing, but I'll be funny anyway. And you're not even a fucking comedian, you know? Look, she could be funny and turn down the suffering of it, be like, not for me. You don't do. Like, don't you wish?
Yeah. Well, to be multi-talented, to like just have, it'd be like if I could just play the instrument, or if I could just sing, and I'm like, yeah, but you know, I prefer to do this. You know, it's like, fuck you. I mean, I don't want to say fuck you because I don't know, and I don't mean it. You know, but also,
I know.
Maybe I do. I don't know. I mean, because like, I don't know. It's to me, it's like, you know, like, I guess when it comes to comedy, it's like taste, right? So you just know you're going to have to look people in the eye who think, I don't like you, I don't find you funny or attractive, but I'm going to sit here. And you're like, oh no, that's okay. It's just my dream. But like when you're singing, like, you know, you have a good voice, like nobody can really take that away. Like, it's like a good voice. And then of course, I guess music is taste, but there's certain things that are undeniable. And so you have to, you know, you're just there and you're like, I'm good at this. And I want that. So if I could just,
there's always that thing though with like music though, like you said, because it is taste, where it's like, you, especially in New York, you know, where isn't there that thing
where everyone's
like,
a cunt? Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, everybody's a cunt. Everybody's like, and I'll find myself doing it, you know, back in the olden days when there were live shows, where even if you like something, you're just kind of, I'll just like sit up front with my arms crossed, just like, totally like dead serious, because I'm kind of trying to figure out, especially if I like it, like what it is that they're doing that I like.
And they're like that bitch in the front row with the stony face.
Scowling cunt. Like, who is that? Who's that like glowering bitch? You know?
And you're like, I'm your biggest fan.
Amazing. Yeah. It's really amazing. And I hate you for it.
Yeah. Oh, I can relate to that. And so where were you? So what were you doing with music and stuff before COVID? I mean, I think during COVID's like, you know, you can't really, there's like maybe you're really killing it right now during COVID, but if you are, I just can't hear about it.
I can't bear it. Don't torture me with that. We're really just not doing very much musically right now. Well, we had a baby, right? So when I was pregnant, we decided we were sitting on a lot of material. We're not particularly prolific. And so when we are making things, we really have to like work very hard on them. I fucking hate people who are like, I don't know, it just came out. Like, fuck you if it's true. Two, that makes me want to like hate it because it takes more time and effort. Or three, you're just like, so you're a genius. And now like, I can't look at you.
Well, they're full of shit too. Cause it's just like, really, it's not torture for you like it is for every other fucking person who makes stuff. Maybe you're making shit and that's why it's so easy, you know?
Exactly.
Maybe you're making the McDonald's of music, you know? I don't know. I just added sugar and cancer and it was edible, you know? It's like...
or they're liars, right? Which
yes.
I'm like, okay, I think that's generally what it is that people are, most people are big fucking liars.
I'm getting so angry, by the way, talking about these hypothetical people. I'm like, fuck them.
Or this one really gets me. They have like a lot of support and money, and I hate those people.
No, I was just
I just have one thing to say about Katharyn. I'm going to throw you under the bus for like a second.
Oh, I can't.
I am from like a Jewish family in like the worst way, you know.
You're gonna bring up your dead mom. I'm just calling.
Okay. Okay. Steal my thunder. Single parent household. I wasn't gonna mention that my mother died tragically, but that's fine. Katharyn brought it up. And then I grew up with just my dad, who's like an old Jew who grew up poor, who wanted kids to be like lawyers and doctors. But
for the record, You had a dad. I did not. Just
oh, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And it was like, my brother's a chess teacher. I'm a comedian. We both really love what we do. But my dad's like, well, if only. You're like, okay, whatever, back off. Katharyn, the other day, she was like, I made this video and, I didn't even want to send it to my mom. I didn't want to, but I did because she just loves everything I do. And I knew that if I sent it to her, she would just be so into it and so supportive. And it just makes me so sick. And I was like, go.
Wow.
Hold on.
Wow.
You misquoted me.
Yeah, that's not my experience with my mother.
Oh, my mother's so supportive. She just loves everything I do. Get away, Mom. Leave me alone.
Before, because I want to ask you about what you just said, Monica. But before we do that, I just want to clarify. So I made a video where I did Kate Bush's dance from Wuthering Heights. Okay.
It's really funny. It's so
like
good.
TikTok, or whatever. And I knew I was going to send it to my mom and I knew she was going to love it. Fine. And then I never hear the end of it. So I send it to her and sure enough, she loves it. And then a few days later, she's like, I've sent it to Barbara and I've sent it to Sharon and I've sent it to Karen and now it's circulating. Fine. And then I was really depressed and she's like, well, why don't you just do another dance? And I'm like, God, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, she's like, that'll fix it. Just like doing that. She doesn't even know who Kate Bush is. She's just like, you're a wonderful dancer. And I'm just like, I'm not a dancer. Like, even if I wanted to be a dancer.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm 33. Yeah, I don't have enough time left in my life to become a dancer. Don't tell me
to start being a dancer now.
It's just so hard having a mom, huh? It just sounds like, wow, your mom is so supportive. Ew, Mom. You know what I wish? I wish I had Eve's no mom instead of this mom who's so supportive. Ugh. It's our new thing, we just it makes me feel good. It's like, I can't lose in that kind of situation.
Well, Monica also has a mom, so how about that?
I have a mom. I have no dad.
Right. Okay. But you're also not complaining. You're not complaining about your supportive. Is your mom supportive?
I mean, look, I don't think my mom will listen to this. My mom is a boomer. And so my feeling about baby boomers is that they're all narcissists. So true to form, my mom is a raging narcissist. Oh. And so
It's not funny. That's not funny. I'm only laughing because you're like, I don't think she'll listen to this. And then you went in hard,
So, I mean, if she does, she'll be like, oh, good, at least it's about me.
Yeah, totally. I can't believe you said that. You should give them my photo.
So she's supportive in as much as it makes her look good.
Yes, I get that.
So
look supportive.
For example, we went on tour and I was doing this thing that was odd where I was in like our set, which is a short set. And it's just my husband and I, and some of it, we don't have like a full live band. So some of it, we're playing to like a track and we have visuals and we're, playing our stuff live. So I kind of like to sometimes we collaborate with dancers, sometimes we collaborate with different visual artists, but we were on tour. We didn't have a lot. So I was doing this thing where I put on lipstick during a song and then I put like some like red dots on my cheeks. And then I just started really getting into drawing on my face with lipstick. And so it became, for me, it was like sort of an avant-garde sort of expression. And then I saw pictures and was like, I should stop doing that. But, you do what you do, right? Like who fucking cares, right? And so my mom, I remember we were in London.
Here she comes.
Yeah, Gloria. Gloria.
Oh, you should have led with that. My mother's name is Gloria. And I'm like, oh no.
It is like that. So she sent me a text. She's like, Deborah, her best friend, who's like the best. Deborah and I are coming to see your show tonight. And I was like, okay, well, cool. And she's like, can you do me a favor and not draw lipstick on your face this time? It's very embarrassing.
Oh my God.
No.
And then she like went into this thing about how it was like she took it far, right? Gloria always goes to 11. She's like, you're disrespecting yourself. But it's so funny because as an adult, I could just be like, whatever, it's not. But because moms have a capacity and I'm curious to know if dads have the same capacity to just trigger your ultimate like teenager behavior.
Yeah.
As like, at this point I'm at like 36 or something. And I was like, how dare you? Don't you ever talk to me about my art, Mom.
Exactly. The art. I am an artist, and you will never understand.
Totally.
Like,
But meanwhile, I had already looked at it and been like, ooh, I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
And are you guys Jewish?
No, we're not. We're Mexican, and there's a lot of similarities.
Okay. All right. Okay. Because Gloria, yeah. All right. I was like, is it like a Holocaust survivor vibe? Not like her, but her parents. But no, it's like is she from Mexico?
Her mom is Mexican Catholic.
Right. So does she have like a lot of pride, and you're supposed to like represent your family well?
She's complicated.
Right.
She's
we gotta get Gloria on here at some point. I really I want to pick her brain.
Well, she, my dad was English. He passed when I was young. And so my family is all in England on my dad's side. And then my mom's side is Mexican, German, and Native American. And so it's very mixed. But there's a lot of sort of like Mexican culturalisms that are sort of like, some of it I think is like, don't embarrass the family. But some of it is just like, I just want it to look how Gloria wants it to look how Gloria wants it to look. You know what I mean?
Wow.
But what's interesting about it is like, I think some people growing up in that type of environment can get stifled by that. Do you know what I mean? They fall in line, as one might say, and then they end up growing. Yeah. And then they grow up doing something they didn't want to do. And then they become a person they didn't want to become. And then they take it out at a BDSM dungeon in Midtown, and like whatever. Right. But it does seem like, whatever it was, you had something in you where you were like, whether you learn to be that way or whatever through trial and error, you're like, I'm going to be my own person and do my own thing. And even if I have to deal with what comes from the family.
Yeah, I think so for sure. Growing up, like none of my family lived outside of a specific area of California, and I was the first to move away. And so I went to school in Seattle, and that was like very odd. Like, why would you go somewhere else?
Right.
We have things here. We have schools here. It was just very like crazy.
I'm just curious because your dad died and my mom died. Sorry, Katharyn, your dad's alive.
My dad left, so that was an active rejection. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, you're the bigger victim, but there's always hope you could rekindle it and blah, blah, blah. And I mean, have you ever considered maybe it was your fault, Kath? No, I'm kidding.
Have you considered a Ouija board? All right, we can make a Saturday night happen. All right, let's just...
But I'm just curious because, I kind of had a similar thing with you as you were. It was like, it's my dad. I love him, but yes, he's a fucking narcissist, but he's older, he was born in the 30s. I think because my mom had died, it made it like so clear to me that like everything that people wanted, like everything that Jewish parents want for their Jewish kids is bullshit, because my mom was like the ideal like Jewish daughter, like lawyer, first woman lawyer to work for the New York State Supreme Court. No one's bragging in that division, but anyway, sorry. Well, no, where she worked, on that floor. No, she really was like kind of amazing. And then she fucking died. And I was like, well, you can do everything right and still die. So I was just like, I kind of had an early idea that like everyone was full of shit and I was just going to do my own thing. And then I went away and stayed away for a long time. Do you feel like that kind of helped you be more yourself, like just with your dad? Or do you,
yeah, I mean, I guess so. I think I always grew up just feeling like other. I just have always had a sense of other. And in some ways, I think it's been really good because I am other. So just make me just embrace it. Yeah. But in some ways, it hasn't been great because I feel like sometimes I am so accustomed to operating in that kind of mode that maybe I miss opportunities for community. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so sometimes I don't think I'm recognizing that there is a community there because I'm like, no, I'm other.
Right.
There is no, you know, and so I have to remind myself like, oh no, there is a community. Because the funny thing is with my family, you know, they're growing up with them. It was very communal. It was almost claustrophobically communal. And I think it was too much for me, but it was really nice to have that big boisterous family. And it was definitely a part of it is a part of who I am, even though I opted to sort of carve my own path out. Right.
Well, it's funny because I was looking at your Instagram, and obviously my jealousies are going to be more superficial than Katharyn's because, you know, we've never met and stuff. But I was like, you know, I'm in New York. I haven't lived here for I haven't lived here for 18 years. And I am staying, but I was looking at your Instagram and I'm like, look at all these fucking friends she has. Oh, that must be so nice. You know people who want to hang out, and this is a picnic in the park. Good for you. You know, and I'm like sitting in my fucking one bedroom with Katharyn's clothes. And that's like my community, you know, just me and her. Oh, I wonder where she got this. Oh, wow. What's the story? It's like so
just hanging out,
hang up the clothes, and, like have conversations with them, or take pictures, like having tea with Katharyn's blue dress.
You know what? I might start doing that. Like, you know, because dating is not going well. I'd rather hang out with your clothes than.
No, honestly, yeah. And one day you could hang out with Mark Jacobs, Alexander Wang, and J. Crew. That's a party.
Why is J. Crew in there? I'm sorry. I don't like that there's a preppy side to you. I just, you know, that's the one part of you that I reject, Katharyn.
It's, you know, you goth it up a little bit. You know what I mean? Because I too am other.
I get it.
I know that feeling about feeling. And yeah, and it can be, a kind of a lonely place, right? I mean, Eve will sort of know from my experiences over the past year, I'm very much delving into, I'm alone. You know what I mean? Like, I am alone. And I'm married to somebody who's sitting over there, but I'm like, he doesn't even get it. No one gets it. I'm so different and special. And like, you know, and that's great because you can create I feel like, it's cool because you're more open to what you'll create, right? Rather than being like, oh, I need to just, you know, do the thing that's working for everyone else or whatever. You're like willing to, you know, but you're also willing to sink in, you know, without reaching out, I guess, right? Is sort of what you're saying?
Yeah, it's a funny thing. I mean, everything feels extra skewed right now. So it's hard to know like what is the normal because of COVID. And then honestly, because I had a baby before, so it's like there was normal life and then there was pregnancy and then there was having a baby, which was just like what, no sleep, and then which, you know, is also very wonderful, I should point out.
Well, you know, we figured.
And then a pandemic, right? And then a pandemic. So at this point I'm kind of like, I don't even know what is normal. I don't even know what is baseline. There's no benchmark for anything at this point. But for example, today I have had my husband's working from home now. I'm working from home. We just started our son in daycare. So now he's out of the house during the week, but I just realized like I haven't had any time. And I think I was also acting a little crazy. And my husband was like, you should go and spend some time with yourself today. And I was like, you think? Yeah, great idea. So I was like, I'm just going to go meander like around like the Lower East Side and just, I don't know, wander around. And it was really nice. But I did have this moment of being like, I just need to like go and be by myself and just be with myself in the city. And then I was like, I'm very lonely. This is very lonely. There are people eating together. And what am I doing? I'm just wandering around buying food. I'm just shopping and buying food everywhere I went because I'm like, what the fuck? I don't drink anymore. Like, I'm very boring now. There's nowhere to go really. So I know. Was
this today?
Yeah, this was this morning. Yeah, right. I just came back. Yeah.
We had like parallel days because I just walked around drinking coffee going, wow, I feel so present. I remember when I was present in Ireland when I was 23, and then I was like going through all of the moments. Yeah. I remember being present and then I was like, oh, I'm not present anymore. Fuck. And then I was like, I should eat something. And then I ate and I was like, I don't feel good.
I don't feel well. You know? I ate like a Danish and a piece of pizza and was like, I don't feel good.
No, I don't know why. New York pizza is renowned for its like cleansing abilities.
Yeah.
Stops you up for fucking days. But anyway.
Yeah, I like that spending time with yourself is like cheese in two forms, like just like,
and then
I need this.
I was noticing like I was getting like irritable for like random shit. And then I got like, it kind of came to a head because I walked past a pencil store.
Oh yeah.
It was like really cute.
So
and
I
was like, I want to go in that pencil store on the way back. That's a weird store. So on the way back, they only let 4 people in. Obviously. And I realized I was that
pencil stores,
person. I was the 5th. So I was standing outside like, just buy your pencils. just buy the fucking pen. Like, how long do you have to look to decide which of the pencils?
That's so great.
I was just standing outside the window, like looking in, like really aggressively. And I realized I just said, I like left. And then I was really mad because I really wanted to go. And then I was like, you need to go home. It's time to go home. That was my date with myself.
I think it's so funny that like it's like apparently like 1 in 3 retail stores in Manhattan has shut down during COVID, but the pencil store made it through. Like what the fuck? What kind of fucking? It's so crazy to me. But,
she brought it up earlier. It's somebody with money and resources. Like that's some rich kid's wet dream, or it's a drug front. That's it. There's no in between. There's
no
like
in between. There's no in between.
Yeah, who's the person who starts the pencil store? Unless they're like us and they're like, I've always been a loner. Yeah,
I've always felt other.
Yeah, exactly.
My pencil obsession.
Yeah, a pencil and a piece of paper kept me occupied my entire childhood, and you're like, oh,
there's nothing worse than not having enough pencils.
Totally. And so you know what? It's good. Fuck them. I'm glad you didn't spend your money there. Fuck their fucking stupid dreams.
Yeah, honestly,
they had the money to. Yeah, you go.
I was just going to say, we'll get you a 10-pack of pencils from Amazon. Okay. Because, I don't get pissed off at Amazon. I get pissed off at mom and pop stores these days, which is, I know the opposite reaction that you should have, but a few mom and pop shops have nearly sent me over the fucking edge. But you know who replaces packages that like haven't arrived yet is Amazon. And then you get double for what you paid for. I'm just saying, like, who I support.
Yeah, you're a fucking capitalist cunt.
Yeah.
Yes,
well,
Never mind. Like when I came back from Australia and I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Like, and this is before like there was any kind of unemployment yet or like any plan. I didn't know I was in quarantine. My dad's like, well, Amazon's hiring at their warehouse. I'm like, Dad, like, first of all.
Oh my God, classic.
I mean, I was just like, it's COVID. Like, why was I just in quarantine to like die delivering people, like the masks that they purchased illegally, like, or, here's some hand sanitizer. It was just like, I'm not going to do that. But also, I mean, I'd been reading about like Amazon, like people work at these warehouses, like wearing diapers so that they don't have to lose productivity because then they get penalized. God. Anyway, fuck it. So, Katharyn, you're the problem here. This is now it's you.
Yeah, well,
I order from Amazon all the time, but
I do too.
Yeah.
I tried to go to the pencil store.
You tried. No, you tried to support. You tried to support.
And you know what else bothered me was I couldn't figure out. I was like, oh, that person's also looking, and then I realized no, there was another person in there who was the person working at the pencil store, and they were like. It was almost like they were giving someone a tour of what they had, as if they don't know that it's just pencils. Like it's pencils. Standing outside, like ring them up. What could you possibly be showing them?
Yo, you got to go back and find out though, because now I got to know. I've got very little going on.
Me too, obviously.
This was on the Lower East Side. Like where on the Lower East Side? I'm like, now you're really. I'm gonna go to the Tenement Museum this week, I think, and then I'll go to
down Orchard or Division, like right before Canal.
Okay.
It's a
I'm
really
gonna
cute store, but
Is it?
I think through the window.
And from now on, they're gonna have a thing in their window that says "As heard about on Everyone's Doing Better Than Me" podcast. They're like, we actually talked about you on the podcast that I work on with a friend. We said you guys are a bunch of cunts, but all publicity is good publicity. You pretentious.
We think you're
piece of
either a
shit.
drug front or you just have like trust funds.
Yeah, totally. Which is it, motherfucker? How did you get your stupid dream? And I don't have mine.
Yeah, right. That gets to be open, but I can't do stand-up comedy anymore.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah. Oh, it's an essential business. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll fucking do stand-up for 5 people in the pencil store if they'd let me.
The pencil
Cute
store
store,
is
though.
cute. It's a cute store.
Well, speaking of cute things, I remember this when we were working together. You had just started dating Jared.
Mm-hmm.
So Jared's her husband and her bandmate and the father of her child. So amazing. And I remember everyone who we worked with, very specifically a woman named Jenny Love, but everybody, they were like, he is so hot. They were like, what the fuck? They were like, he's so hot. Like, she'd whine about it. Like, I can't stand it. And like, he also's got this like vibe, you know what I mean? So when they're like, I don't know if you saw photos of them on Instagram, but you know what I mean? They're like a fucking vibe, the two of them together.
Oh, did
Monica
I?
and
Yeah,
Jared.
I did. You guys are, and he's got like fun little glasses, right?
He's had some glasses. Yeah.
Sorry, it sounds so patronizing. Oh yeah, your husband and his fun little glasses, and you and your friends. I was looking at, and I was like, the other thing I was furious about, and I shouldn't be because I've never had a child, but I was like, you're a hot pregnant woman. And it's a thing I think about. I'm like, I don't think I'd be a hot pregnant woman. I think I'd be like really like sweaty and red. And like, I just don't think, and you looked amazing. And there's like one photo where like,
dewy.
yeah, there's like,
dewy.
like multiples of the same photo. And I was like, she looks fantastic. I don't know how this is.
I'm not going to lie though. I left out on the pregnancy end and then I had the baby and it looked like someone punched me in each of my eyes.
All right. That makes me feel a little better.
It's like I had the craziest dark circles under my eyes. My mother,
Gloria,
came over and it was like she did a cartoon triple take when she walked in the door and like she was like deeply concerned. Like I might be like dying of cancer. Because she said she's never seen me look like that before.
Wow, Gloria sounds like an A1 supportive person. She's just like, you look like you're dying. Oh my God.
When I was in the hospital, after having had the baby, they pump you so full of fluids that I had like, I gained, a lot of weight. When you're pregnant, you gain a lot of weight, but everything sort of stayed somewhat proportionate except for the giant, beach ball belly. Mm-hmm. But when I was in the hospital, I took this picture of my feet.
Giselle?
I had just got this like white pedicure. So oh my God, my legs and feet, they looked like tree trunks that someone had scattered chiclets on. Like Tic Tacs. It looked like giant. They just looked like giant tree trunks, like huge tree trunks that someone had put like five Tic Tacs on. They were my toenails. They were so disgusting. I have never in my life, and I had this like, is this the way I am now? Forever? Is this me? It was disgusting.
But they've deflated. Are they fine now?
They deflated along with my breasts.
Oh God.
Yeah.
It's so,
gone.
It's just, I really think that we deserve, like, I think that like anybody who has a kid just deserves compensation. It's like, thank you for your body. Do you know what I mean? Like, because you are just left to be like, well, I mean, or not even having it, because as I get older, I've said this before that like my boobs, which are like huge, and I've always been like, yeah. And like now they've just started to like relax, like they're just chilling out a little bit. And they're like, we still look the same in a bra, but we just like to kick back when you take a bra. And I'm like,
yeah, it's the difference between like standing up straight and just like casually leaning against a wall.
yeah, exactly. My boobs they're like,
Come on, look alert. Look alert.
Yes, exactly. They're like leaning against the wall, smoking a cigarette in an alley. That's my boobs now. Just like, we're done with this bullshit. And I'm like, guys, I still haven't trapped anyone. I need you to get your shit together.
Attention! Get in line! Up and down.
We gotta get a face caught in here and then trap him. Or her. See, now I switched my hinge to men and women, and my concern is that women keep asking me the name of my fucking podcast, and I'm like, I never mention being horny for women on my on the podcast because I've only hooked up with men.
She's exploring.
I'm just trying to put things in that might make the women go, "Oh no, she's into both."
Cast a wide net,
Well, I want them to feel included if they listen, if they get this far in, which no one will. Someone said, "Oh, I listened to 10 minutes, and you have a nice voice." I was like, I'm wet. Tell me more. But yeah, that's I mean, you're a hero, like actually, for having a child.
It's a weird thing because when you're getting your checkups for the baby, when you're pregnant, there's just a lot of attention on you, but it's not about you, it's about the baby.
Yeah.
And I kind of enjoyed the attention. I felt very cared for. I enjoyed taking care of myself very well. I did not think that I would enjoy being pregnant. I thought I would hate it. I really enjoyed it. I felt like really psychic, kind of. I just felt like earthy.
Yeah, like in touch.
Mommy,
I get it.
Like body,
like witchy, yeah.
A little witchy, yeah. And also
like
don't fuck. You don't truly don't fuck with a pregnant woman. Like it's over for you.
Yeah. I've accidentally fucked with a couple pregnant women. And to this day, they're like, do you remember that time? And I'm like, yes, I don't want to talk about it. You were so terrifying.
It's scary. It's scary. I felt like I had the capacity to be like very terrifying. And then you have, in a wonderful way, and then you have the baby and it's like, everyone's like, who are you?
Right.
What are you? Are you even,
You're the case the baby came in.
Yeah. You're just like shriveled up.
You're the packaging for the child.
You're like a flabby, shriveled skin in the corner.
You're like the next day after Christmas when you have a puppy, but all of the stuff is scattered on the floor, and you're like, I guess I'll clean it up and I should recycle. Well,
It's funny. It's funny that you say like don't fuck with a pregnant woman, because the vibe that I always got from you in general is like, you're extremely friendly, extremely approachable, but do not fuck with me, and I feel like that's not an easy vibe to give off. Like, talk to me, but also don't cross me. Like, I remember this one time, and this kind of goes into this other thing that I remember at the time, I felt like that's what I want, like between you and Jared. So I also don't drink anymore. Fun. Look at that. Yeah. Right. Just ketamine and pills, just ketamine.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm like, she's not sober though. Let's just get that fucking straight.
But I remember one time we were out at a restaurant you had been working at in Williamsburg called Walter Foods, I think, or we were like down the street. It doesn't matter. But your friend who makes beautiful underwear was with us. Nikki, I think her name was. Yeah. And Jared had met up. And I remember we were a few drinks in, and there was something that we were all sitting there, and there was something that you and Jared were discussing, but it was something separate. And you guys were kind of arguing a little bit, but you lived together at the time. And I heard you go, okay, Jared, just go home. Just you were like, just go home. And then Jared, who is just so wonderful, was like, all right. And then he said, Nikki, pleasure to see you. Katharyn, great to see you as always. Monica, I'll see you at home. And it was like this non-incident. Do you know what I mean? Like between the two, like you saw that there was like love, and you're just like, I'm not dealing with this. And he's like, fair enough. And like, but normally couples, might just like in front of everybody, just shoot into a fucking like thing. And you're like, what's going on? But you guys, I think, whether you always had it or you established this level of trust and whatever, where you're like, you're annoying me, get out of my face. And I love you. And I'll see you the fuck later. And at the time I had never had something like that. And it was something like, really, I was like, I want that one day, I really, really want some. They look cool, they act cool, they're cool to each other, but they're real, you're not fake. And also you're just like, don't fucking mess with me. You know, like I'm not in the mood for whatever you're selling me right now, Jared. And he's like, okay, fine. You know?
Yeah. Go good. I don't remember that, but I
have a photo from the night.
I like that.
There's a photo of you and Nikki that I took, and it's from that night. And I don't know what you guys are doing, but the shadows were casting really nice on you. And I'll send it to you. And that was that night, because we ended up staying out a little longer in Williamsburg. And, you know, because we used to drink a lot, you and I, and we did together.
Heavy.
I don't believe that. I can't imagine the two of you drinking together.
Oh, yes.
It was so fun.
I would have been terrified to bump into you guys drunk myself on the sidewalk and then end up turned into like a toad or something. Just like some kind of like, get out of our way, Jew.
What? I like that in this fantasy. We're anti-Semitic. Thank you. Okay, that's fine.
It's not about you. It's about me. And I just feel victimized all the time, you know? But I've always been othered, you know? Like that's my...
It's also just, it's funny that you say that too. Like you were talking earlier about like how, you know, how you guys really work hard to create what you have. And I've seen them live and they have like dancers and outfits and the whole thing. But like you do make it look, and this is a compliment, you make it look effortless, you know, which is something that I don't think, again, like, you know, even as comedians, like you can watch people on stage and you can see them and you're like, that's not effortless. Like they're killing themselves to try to make that fucking happen. Yeah. And you know, and it takes so long to develop the skill to make it look effortless. And it seems like you as a person and you know, along with Jared, you guys have done it together as well. You make it look like you did just sort of think that up. You're like, we're doing this, you know, we look like this, we are this, you know? And the only way I would have known that you weren't exactly as theatrical or sparkly or with makeup on your face is because I knew you personally, you know?
Right. when I would load things off the back of trucks, it might be.
Yeah. But you know, it just, there's a lot to be said for that. You know, I think just kind of having that natural sort of essence, like you're magnetic, you know what I mean? Like Eve has taken to you, you know, already.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Like this is, I can see it. I can see it.
Don't fucking put women I really have. You seem
I can
I was literally just thinking like, oh, I wonder if we can be friends in Brooklyn. But
I know,
I'm like, Katharyn, speak for yourself, Katharyn. Don't fucking drag me into, but actually, are you free? Yeah, that's what I like. I need to basically pin like one of my good friends here is like a therapist who works all the time. So now the other person I can feel rejected by is like a working mother with a young child. I'll be like, Monica's too busy for me, but
it's a toddler, whatever that is.
Yeah. I mean, I just know that anybody with a kid, it's like if they never get back to you, it's like fine, you know, but I'll still cry. I'll still feel
and you've
lonely.
seen that kid, right? Like
I know.
I don't want
so
kids, but that kid, if I had a kid, it just have to be yours. So if you know, that's it. It's like that kid looks like that kid is gonna be cool, you know? Like it just
he already gives us like really like, well, you know, we kind of sweat and work hard to try to impress him and make him laugh. And think that we're like really funny and like we're you know, we're awesome, right? And he looks at us sometimes like with such disgust. like really just like he's just like, you're sweating, like stop.
Yeah. Just chill. Just be you.
Stop
you
working
know?
so hard. Like I like you. It's okay.
Yeah. Exactly. That's so funny. Your kid's like, just, you know, relax and
just be yourself.
Yeah,
totally.
He's 1 year old. 1 year old.
Aren't mommy and daddy so funny? And he's like, yeah, sure, you know.
Like you were when you weren't trying.
Yeah. Oh God.
You were not.
But the worst thing is that my dad does that. And I mean, it's like a running joke where I'm like, Dad, you ruined it. Like he'll tell me a joke and he knows I hate. Well, I mean, I love hate his jokes. There's only 17 and I've heard all of them all the time. I mean, my dad, he goes, oh, you know, you never hear any good jokes anymore because nobody goes to bars. And I'm like, Dad, what are you fucking talking about? Nobody tells jokes since the 50s. Like, oh, a guy walks into a bar. I'm like, what are you talking about? But he'll say, well, did I ever tell you? And then I'm like, yeah, you did.
You did,
you know, and he's just like, but that becomes like the running joke and stuff. But anyway, I guess my point is I am your kid and I'm also you. you know, so I
wow. Wishful thinking on both
Are we
fronts
best friends,
Eve.
you know? Yeah, hang out with me. I get you. Well, is there anything, were you going to say something else, Katharyn?
Well, I was going to ask her because so this is a part that we like to do sometimes.
Oh, you're going to do
a nice
this.
Time.
You're going to do
If we've had
it.
a nice time, if we've
All
had
right.
a nice time,
Right.
we like to put you on the spot and see if you have any well thought out, meaningful compliments for us.
/ jealousies. Are you jealous? We want to hear that. Basically, we are both people who are so unhappy and that we only feel like we can be grateful for what we have when other people covet it. You know, so what do you...
I feel like I was seeing her eyes look for the leave on the Zoom call. Like
that was just like,
is that my son? Like,
yeah. You know, I have to go pump. I don't even breastfeed anymore, but I just feel like I should.
I'm a little jealous of you being Jewish.
Wow.
Shit.
That is really turning it on its head. Yeah.
Well, you know, I mean, I do think that there are some qualities of a Mexican personality and culture that I find to be similar to friends who are Jewish, and their familial sort of guilt.
Yeah, I wish I had that. Are you saying I'm neurotic and guilty? No, yeah. Wait, so why do you wish you were Jewish? Because it's like the
traditions, you know, the traditions. I like the traditions.
Yeah, like being like persecuted. Yeah. No, I mean,
not the persecution. But food.
Totally. It's a fun club to feel like, you know, I mean, I have to deal with this membership to this club, but you're like in a club and like you can only really get it if you were born in it. You can convert, but it's like really like everyone who's in the club is like, but she converted. But no, it's fine. Yeah. We accept, you know, and so but you know, and then you can be like, we really don't own everything. I just happen to have the thing, but I just but actually I don't have anything. So
are you from New York?
I'm from Westchester. Yes, I'm from like an hour from here.
See?
I know we own
I'm
it all.
a little jealous about being New York Jewish.
I gotta say, you know, when I was in Australia, it was like an asset because they don't have a lot of New York Jews there, and there is this kind of idea of what a New York Jew is, and I don't know if that's like universally true. I just know it's true for me. You know, it's like a neurotic, kind of angsty person who's like kind of defensive and like nobody will love me. And I have all those things. So,
I'm a little jealous about that. And also, you've got good bangs. I like the bangs.
Oh, thank you.
I have curly hair, so I can't. You know, I'm.
But your hair is. But your hair is so beautiful. I remember your hair. Yeah. Your hair.
This is my compliment, you know. So
I'll give you another one. The way she said that she's jealous of you being Jewish, it made me also be jealous of not being Jewish. So look at that. Now you got you too. Today.
You are definitely Jewish. We've gone over this. There is no way you can be this like nuts, like just wildly, just like all the time freaking out without having like direct, like it's like one of those things where your ancestors definitely survived the Holocaust and you don't know it. And it's like inherited trauma because I've known you to like, it's like when you said to me that like, if you think about anything hard enough, you can get upset. I'm like, you're Jewish, you know? You're Jewish. So yeah, you take that for you as well. That's a comment. But genuinely, thank you, Monica, for saying those lovely things.
Yes. But as far as Katharyn goes, because I know Katharyn a little bit more.
Look, she's getting excited. Look at her.
Katharyn's got really good fashion sense.
Such amazing. Yeah.
So if you are selling any clothes, let me know.
Oh, yes. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
No, really. And we're doing, and I'm telling you this, if things are going like for bargain prices for you.
Bargain basement price.
Bargain basement. Like thrift store stuff, you know, shoes. Don't tell about the dog hair you vacuumed out of the shoes. Okay.
Oh my God. Just so much fucking hair.
But don't tell her about the dog hair. But yeah, no, thank you. I do remember working at Buttermilk Channel and I was extremely neurotic and I wouldn't wear the same outfit twice.
How long did you work there?
4 years.
When I would
I didn't know. You didn't wear the same outfit twice for 4 years?
That's crazy.
Yeah. I don't remember who started to notice, but somebody noticed one day. It might have been Ellen or it might have been Doug. Doug was the owner, but they were like, we've never seen you like wear the same. And I'm like, cause I haven't. And they're like, I'm sorry. Like, but it's just like, I would wear the same items, but I'd make them in different ways, you know? So you wouldn't know. But you've also seen how much shit I have at this point, Eve. So I could have probably just worn a new item every time.
It's funny, you know, it's like a thing we laugh about, but it feels like my tragedy, you know, cause you're like, I'm kidding. I'm happy to fucking sell your clothes, you know,
well, but to be honest, I do want to share this because I was told at one point so, you know, I got sent away to this camp when I was like 15, not a good one. Like I ran away and then I got sent away, and I was told by the therapist that, you know, cause they put you in uniforms, like color-coded uniforms, and per your color was like what you were allowed to do. Like, oh my God, when you were in red, you weren't allowed to talk to or look at other people wearing red, and you couldn't wear shoes, shit like that. So apparently, according to the I know, it's I know, right? Really just So apparently, I was told by the therapist I had when I got out that I had PTSD, and the way I was dealing with it, which went into my time working at Buttermilk Channel, was like I would change my clothes so much. Like I had to feel like I could die in the outfit I was leaving the house in before I would leave. And it would make me late to work. It was crazy. I just had to feel so good in it. And he said that I was dealing with the trauma of that with the fucking clothes. And then I really just wanted to be like, you know, my mom has a shopping addiction and this is inherited, but you know, whatever you want to call it.
No, that is spot on. And it made me so sad. I was like, oh man, I have to be nicer to her. You know, if you need ketamine, just do ketamine, you know,
thank you.
Whatever you want, babe.
Thank you, Jewish sister. This has been really fun. Isn't Monica great? I was so excited when you said yes. See, and maybe I am Jewish. I'm incredibly neurotic. Monica didn't reply to me for like 12 hours. And I was like, I'm sorry, should I have not asked? Like, I was just like,
you were like, if I've offended you.
I know. She said, I just
have a toddler.
I saw all of it happening because she said, I'll ask my friend Monica. She's so cool, blah, blah. And then she was like, Monica didn't reply. I wonder if I was like, oh my God, like she's probably just like living her life. Everybody loves you. Like people want to be your friend. And if they don't want to be your friend, well then, okay, you found out, you know, but like, it was just this whole thing. And I was like, Monica had better fucking reply because I can't.
You're like
I'm dealing with, you know,
I'll find her myself.
What is her address? I knock on your door and I'm like, Monica, did you check your messages? Please? I know I don't know you, but I have a friend, we have a mutual friend, and she's gonna like, I'm gonna die or she's gonna die. Like just
and when you do the podcast, pretend like you don't know me. There's just
exactly. Yeah.
We need this.
I was glad that you actually and that I've been doing like Marco Polos with some friends. Do you guys do that? I don't.
Where you like keep missing each other and.
Well, no, like it's like that app where you basically just do like a video chat. You record a video chat for someone and you just sort of do it back and forth. I have these two girlfriends. They asked me if I would start doing that with them. I happily did. And they're like the best people to do that with because they are really funny and strange, beautiful people. And they're really fun to just watch because you're essentially just looking at yourself at your phone, talking to this person, sort of like leaving them like a video diary. So you kind of have to like be careful who you agree to do that with because if they're boring or
totally
diary that's just like eating, you know what I mean? Like you got to be selective. You got to be pretty judicious. And these two like broads from my past are like the best because like you tell like they like to look at themselves while they're talking. And then they like take me on tours of their spaces and like read me poetry and stuff. And it's very fun, but they're very long. Like it's really easy you start it. At least my experience has been, I start it and I'm like, I don't really have anything to say. And then it's like 15 minutes later and I'm like, oh my God, what am I talking about? And then, so they start stacking up pretty quickly, you know? And so when I have like a little one, I'm trying to, you know, keep track of my friend's Marco Polo. And there's so much ground that she's covering. I feel like I should be taking notes because I want to respond to some of the things that she's been doing, but this is my neurotic mind. Right. And so
Sounds familiar.
She started responding, being like, "Did I offend you? Did you not want me to talk about like our mutual friend who I know you don't really care for? I won't talk about her anymore." And I'm like, "Oh my God, Katharyn just said that to me the other day. Did I offend you?" No, I'm not offended. I just truly, my son at this point is like, he's like, I call him my barnacle. I'm just like his big whale, and he's my barnacle. He's just like, he's just always stuck to my side if he's awake, just always like right there. And so as soon as I start focusing on anything else, it's like, no, it's time for trains, or it's time for, smashing tissue paper.
Wait, are you hanging out with me? Because that's, yeah.
But it's funny because it's like, that is the COVID mind, where it's like so much time to worry about like, but what could she be doing? I mean, we're all at home, and you're just like, you're at war, and your son's like throwing food at you, and you're behind the couch, and he's like, "It's not funny, Mom. Stop trying so hard." And your friend's like, "What have I done? I'm sorry. I'll never mention her again. She's dead."
And you're like, spaghetti.
And it's just like, you're with like a tiny terrorist who you love, that's like what I think parenting is. And then all these people who are just like home, like Katharyn and me and your friend, are just like, I don't know. I really care about her. And I just hope I didn't lose this friendship. It's really,
yeah, truly though.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. Because your mind, it's real. I'm finding that I have an incredible imagination, and everything I think of sucks. Like,
but she talked you up so much too. She was like, "Oh, she's so cool. She's so funny." Blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, "Monica didn't reply."
And Eve likes to tell me to write in my journal. So there's definitely like a part in there where I'm like, Monica didn't reply. Do I have any friends left in New York?
Oh my God.
Did I do something to offend her?
And Katharyn gives me such shit when I tell her to write in a journal, but I'm like, it's for me, like write in the journal, because I can't. No, I'm kidding. I'm here for you. Tell me all about it, but also write it. Talk to the journal too, to spread it around. Yeah.
On that note, so I know you and Jared, you took a break for a little bit, but you will be back making new music, right?
Yeah, we actually have a record that we have to release that we're trying to figure out, like, what does that look like? We finished it when I was pregnant, because we were smart enough to think, well, we'll probably not finish it ever if we don't do it before the baby's born, which was smart.
Right.
Yeah. Nice.
So we finished it, and then we got it mastered, and now we're kind of like, how do you do these things when it's COVID? Right. Does it really, honestly, it's kind of like that weird sort of, I guess that's kind of how it is with art in general, when you're not terribly wealthy and have an incredible amount of support. It's just like, what is this? Why are we doing this? How do we do this? It's a compulsion more than anything else, right? You're compelled to do something.
Right.
Yeah. You're literally on a podcast that is just two people compelled to try to keep living. Just marking time. Yes. But plug it.
Though. That's the thing, though. Like that, it's important. It's important.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I journaled today about why opera is important. So, Monica, let's hang out, man, because I can't keep writing things about how like opera is like beautiful sound that you make with your body. I'm like, stop, Eve. Like, this is so.
You're not a musician. You don't know what that's called. Like, you're like body sound, opera.
So do you want to plug your Instagram or your band group, like Instagram music? Yeah.
The band's name is Courtship Ritual. And what our Instagram is Courtship Ritual. Our website is courtshipritual.com. Our is Courtship Ritual. We lucked out.
What was the third one? Nice. Your what?
Our Facebook is Courtship Ritual. Right. Everything is just Courtship Ritual. It's on, it's on all the streaming services.
And I have to interrupt.
iTunes.
I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. Well, I just need to point out, and I know it's Jared that does this, the Instagram. Okay. This man, wherever he finds the 12 memes he posts every day. Okay. He posts one and you can keep flicking, and then there they are. And then you might get a picture of all three of them somewhere in there, Monica, Jared, and the baby, like tucked in between like these visuals, these like avant-garde, super fucking crazy memes or just things to look at. And he has an arsenal. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, he's been doing this for fucking years. Yeah. And I'm like, and one time I messaged.
Calls them shit posts.
Shit posts.
And they're just like memes or like bizarre photos that he finds in a slideshow. And then somewhere in there is probably a picture of our child.
Yes. Yeah.
Which, once we had a baby, we had to start having conversations like, oh, wait, we shouldn't put a picture of a baby next to that picture. Like, I think it was like a picture of the cowboy in Toy Story appearing to be anally fucked by the astronaut. When you swiped, then there was a picture of our child. And I was like, oh. Wait, maybe we should set some guidelines.
Suddenly you're getting like weird texts from the police and you're like, no, we're artists. We didn't.
I swear to God though, like 16-year-old me would hear that and be like, that's the marriage I want. You know what I mean? Like,
I was looking through the Instagram for the band and I was like doing the thing where you can scroll through all the posts, and it was like liked by You Girl You Nasty, liked by, and I was like, she is such a loser, like just like liking. Oh my God, I love it.
I love it.
Yeah, she doesn't do that with my posts. I'll just say that. Okay, my posts of me traveling around the country.
More memes, more ass fucking Toy Story. Okay, that's it.
And babies right after it.
Yeah, plus babies.
All right.
You won't find those anymore, I promise.
Well, but no, don't say that because for me, that's like a reason to follow. Okay. Like, what if one day they slip up? But
like beyond if you follow for the music, it's like it's just a great Instagram. Do you know what I mean? And it fits your whole dynamic. Like again, we talked about you on stage and how you guys sometimes incorporate dancers and yourselves and everything, and it's very like artful. So it's really cool. So follow Monica and all the shit, and whenever your album comes out.
Yes. We're working on a video right now with a friend, and it should be coming out soon. We just got to kind of figure out what do we do for like a release event, I don't know. What do we do? Something on Zoom or...
Oh my God. Heard of it. Well, if you haven't already, follow the podcast too. Everyone's doing better. Follow Katharyn, Ew Girl You Nasty, because she's a nasty little bitch who loves astronauts and Woody fucking so distasteful if you ask me. And then follow me, Eve Elbow. Is there anything else? Oh, like, subscribe, rate the fucking podcast. I'm sick of asking the people who listen.
You're gonna ask every time.
Well, that's you have to. That's the whole game.
That's the game.
Yeah, duh. What do you like? You just stop giving out your business card just because you've done it twice.
All right, the lovers' quarrel Monica doesn't need to be here for. Okay,
I'll rate it.
Thank you so much for doing this with us, Monica.
I know
this was really nice. Thank you.
I feel the same way. Really a pleasure. I can go on living one more day for this. So thank you for that.
Thank God you replied. Thank you so much.
Life or death.